Tonight, it's a different type of race. Tonight, no stages, one stage if you will ask that matter, but it's more importantly, the All-Star race. Tonight, the Full 8 Cup Challenge increases the horsepower, decreases the weight, and sees how this car would run if it was higher than the horsepower package in real life. Tonight, Makoni Entertainment is ready to bring you all the action for a special race here from Dover Motor Speedway, the All-Star Race for 2026. I'm Justin Prince. Alongside of the booth for tonight's Ron Mons. Our producer is Morgan Cook for tonight's coverage, as we're all set to go for tonight's interestingly different one for the Monster Mile. Green flag is out. We're All-Star Racing from Dover. Quick start at the front of the field, and there goes the 6 machine to lead the first lap. Robert Miller charging immediately to second, but everyone else trying the different lines like Lucas Hoytsma up the road.
Yeah, side by side squabbling a little bit farther behind. Everybody looking to get off to a clean start here in this race. It would suck in the off week to carry it over into the World 600 to have a lap 1 or lap 2 DNF here. So everybody looking to try to avoid drama like the plague and just get off to a smooth start, get the juices flowing before this car tries to hack at you alive.
Sure possibility. I think you could really argue here, absolutely. As you see some of the drivers at the top of the racetrack as they rip. That includes drivers like Conklin. Nobody's been able to get alongside Mason yet. That's going to change for second, though. Hoytsma got alongside Miller. No, not able to keep it there. Just a little bit too high. Normally the lower line's the better line here, but some drivers might be able to do something here with this diamond to build up momentum. Mason's lost the top also. Here comes Miller.
He's applying the pressure too there on the high side.
Yeah, they both zip on by easily. Miller up to the race lead, and the 15's up front, but Hoytsma ready to go as well.
Yeah, I gotta say these drivers have been playing it pretty cut and dry at the moment. They've been matter of fact about the way that they've gone about this race. Side by side for the lead. That's Hoytsma and Miller.
Here we go. Hoytsma got along to the inside now. No. Nothing going.
Nothing working there for now, but we saw Hoytsma just hack at it for a while here earlier, so I don't think he's going to give up until he absolutely has to. Side by side, just trying to find something to work at well here. Get that top side rubbered in. If that top side starts to get rubbered in, then you could really be cooking with gas, but right now he's not able to make it work, which is why he's dived down the inside, heading off into 3 and 4. Still looking for that race lead. I think he may be able to get it done.
I think there is the chance, and it will be complete in the entry. This time through and done. Pass complete. So that moves Hoytsma up a spot as a result on the shuffle. He'll make his way on through, down through 3. I think Lucas Hoytsma might be one of the drivers to keep an eye on here with the speed here tonight. But obviously, the fall off is already up to the usual 9/10. Here comes the question, does it fall off even more than the usual 9/10 that we see everywhere else?
Yes, and Brandon Hastings getting an opportunity to visit that inside safer barrier. He'd probably be able to brush it with his hand if he could stick his hand out of the window net, but I think he doesn't want to get any closer to that. It's the walls around here, kind of like a wild animal. You just don't really want to touch them with anything more than a 10-foot pole.
Example, now you add that extra to that list of drivers who have the pro experience. And keep in mind, Robert Miller amongst those who works with some people that we've seen like Christopher Hill that we've seen pop up over in recent years in good measure in the Altus camp. Side by side for the race lead. Miller nearly got alongside Hoytsma.
And so Robert Miller just not giving up here in this fight, as side by side once again, and contact there, wall contact. Lucas Hoytsma tags the fence as he headed his way at turn number 4, and now Dylan Basin getting involved in this battle as well. What's Basin going to do? He's first alongside Hoytsma. Will he maybe try and get the 2-for-1 deal, clip the coupon here on this 45th lap, and get that spot from Robert Miller as well? Not close enough as he heads his way into 3 and 4, still alongside that number 97 as he heads his way out of the turn, and more contact there with the 97. That car's getting wicked tight on him.
Yeah, I'm noticing that seems to be a thing we've seen a couple times over now, is quite simply some of these drivers have cooked the tires, not expecting the car to run the same way, or rather the way it is here, and it's out of that extra little challenge per se, at least from the outside viewpoint. I mean, racing line-wise, it looks similar to what you would normally expect, other than the groove is higher.
You know, obviously, we talk about the big things that are different here in this race. Of course, the power adjustment, the weight adjustment, no stages. Obviously, got to throw some wrenches into the works, but it's the little things as well that can make a huge difference here. It's the world of motorsports. Even here in iRacing, the smallest things can make a difference. One small little electrical solenoid in your wheel going bad could spell the difference between you winning a race and you losing a race because of a hardware failure. One thing that's not helping out these drivers as well is looking at that track temperature there as well. 117 degrees Fahrenheit.
The moment Basin's picked up, hearing that drivers are blowing tires now. Oh no, these tires aren't going to even last 60.
Yeah, so we're hearing that Hoytsma has a blown tire. We see him coming down pit lane right now. I knew that handling was starting to get bad in that race car, and that makes sense. So now that's adding an extra level of importance to these drivers' battles out there on the racetrack. Paul Gallimore, latest to come down pit lane, top 2, still involved in their own little squabble. That's Dylan Basin and Robert Miller. Gotta wonder whether these drivers are just looking to do it before the pit stops come around here. Say, okay, we're driving on tires that are basically made out of tin cans, hopes, and a prayer, so may as well battle now soon.
May as well battle very quick. We're seeing just how some of these challenges go immediately for a lot of these cars. So, off and away goes the pit stops for some of the drivers here. A lot of errors extending. Wonder how powerful the undercut's going to be. Basin back to the lead, by the way. Yeah, it's not going to be as simple as in terms of the sequence with everyone else. We are going to see a fair bit of difference on tire pace. You see Tucker zipping on by. Basin's really starting to go to a crawl. Some of these drivers, the roll speed is in the 130s. Conklin just pit. So another stop coming through for him.
Yeah, so Sean Conklin, odd decision there to come down pit lane once again. This is I'm not really sure what the deal is there. Some sort of outstanding penalty. This
has to.
That is quite odd. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a necessary call from him. He is pulling into the pits there.
Hastings just blew a tire. He's going to have to come on down. This is turning into a disaster for almost the field here. Yet again, blown tires being the problem.
And as we've been seeing these stops, I've looked into it here, JP, and again, this is me math, so this may be entirely inaccurate. However, I was saying that the drivers could maybe afford just to break up the race by the 50s, come down pit lane every single 50 laps, keep the speed rolling, try and run it good. But if you make it 62.5 laps, you can cut out a pit stop entirely out of your race. Just run 62.5 laps, you'll be able to make it to the end on 4 tires. Now, granted, those tires will be killed, a lot more killed than if you took tires every 50 laps. However, you would be able to cut out that time on pit lane, which the pit lane loss that you have here at Dover is substantial. The speeds are so high, and of course the speeds down pit lane are so low. You got heard out, we're hearing as well, 45 seconds lost down in pit lane here. So if you can cut that one out, doesn't matter that fresh tire advantage if you take one more stop, that will get offset. So that's probably what these drivers are trying to do.
I think that's exactly what the thought is. And so, as we come up to 176 to go, now everybody else is going to go and figure out quickly, what are they going to do with Dylan Basin now sending fastest laps, by the way. Here's the thing. Basin, you know how much time he's lost on this call? About 12 seconds.
Oh, that's brutal. That's absolutely brutal for him.
No, absolutely not. So, you just gotta try to make sure you at least salvage a good finish, obviously. You want to win the All-Star race, try and get the big prize in terms of the trophies, if you will, when it comes to a race like this. And right now, we've seen just how much some of the drivers have really wanted it, like Matthew David Wood here. He's got a little fresher tires than the leader, and he is slowly crawling into it. He has a chance to move up to third real quickly.
And now, will this be feasible for MDW and Nolan Hodgson? Will they start to squabble here soon? They will. MDW looking for it around the outside. That number 16 machine off the 12 of Hodgson. Who's going to have to yield first? Will be MDW backing out there? No, he will not. Bangs the wall on corner exit and gets that spot. The driver of the 16 jumping his way up into third, but the battling still not done quite yet. Hodgson still maintaining a presence there on the inside. Wasn't able to draw alongside as he headed his way off through 3 and 4, but still getting into the head of that number 16 car a bit, just saying, hey, look, I'm still here, and I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. Hodgson, been a real fascinating driver to keep tabs on throughout this campaign here in the FLCC, having another intriguing performance right now, battling for that final podium spot. Gotta say, I think this may be the time where drivers are a bit more stubborn. Just say, okay, let's go for his MDW going for it there. Where did that come from? Goes for the dive into turn number 1 and 2 on Sean Conklin. This for the race lead.
Matthew David Wood, first time up to the point. And so far, near half the field has at least led laps tonight. The 16 joins that category. And just like that, he's got fresher tires by a little bit. And he's been able to save them much better by 0.3 a lap.
Yeah, now MDW, a driver that I've gonna cover a couple of times here in this series, a couple of times in some other series as well, as Conklin with a meatball flag. That certainly helped things out there. Now, I'm wondering whether that was for a blown tire or potentially wall contact, because you could see that car actually had a pretty bad bit of wall contact thing its way down the back straightaway out of 2, but we are hearing it was a blown tire for Conklin. It all depends. Was that wall contact because he had a blown tire and that's why he had the meatball flag, or did he make wall contact and that's why he has a meatball flag? As it turns out, it was the former instead of the latter. Conklin coming down pit lane here. So odd to see such a large break in when these drivers are coming down pit lane in terms of pit strategy spread. Even with a larger field in some of the championship rounds that actually award points, you're just seeing something completely different here.
It's again thought of, did you get the setup right? Did you get things planned together? Nor did you try and stick a setup with the normal set in? Robert Miller just had a panic saying, I had you pit. And he's coming down. He nearly spins it. This might be trouble. Miller missed the pit lane. He holds on to it. No caution. We stay green.
Once again, that pit entry being absolutely brutal. I talked about it with the drivers slow on the banking, how scary it was going to be for the drivers behind. But it has seemed to be just the drivers themselves having to cut their way onto pit lane that has been the nerve-wracking part. I'm trying to figure out exactly what the deal may have been here. Looks like the car's still running at full song. Pulls down pit lane, and there you can see already sideways. Oh, and he is so lucky that he avoided that pit attenuator. That was a matter of inches. Yeah, so blown tire once again. Hoytsma running it to the numbers. We saw his first pit stop be done as a result of a meatball flag. Second time around, rearing as well. That was the longest stint out of anybody so far here in this race. 96 laps. Golly. Oh, that is absolutely brutal. Yeah, and so this is going to be when that pit window opens once more. What do these drivers do here? Do they try and split it down the middle? Do they stay with their pit call, try and maximize the other run on fresh tires in the final 100 laps? We'll just have to find out as we go. That side-by-side battling on camera right now. The 6 of Delaney and the 06 of Dylan Basin. We are expecting these drivers to squabble a bit earlier on here in this race after starting from the front row. We've now finally gone in it in a very different format, about 155 laps later than we were maybe expecting.
Delaney's just blown a tire. He's going to have to pit this time. He just backed off as there goes more stops. Again, so critical what we've seen tonight with tires. Yeah, and at this point, who do you think's got it here? Duggar's strategy call to out-shape up Conklin on track, or do you think Conklin's got the pace to reel him on in by the end of the race?
Ooh, that is tough. I am going to say that Alan Duggar is my man to beat. Now, I say that knowing full well I probably just levied upon him the curse.
And it's going to be an interesting time for Daiso, because we know he is in a spot where he might be able to make it, but how far ahead is his cushion going to be compared to the others here? Right now he's got about near a full lap to catch up to Duggar alone here with 60 to go coming up. And Duggar's right behind him, mind you.
There's still going to be somebody looking just to do something a little bit peculiar, something a little bit goofy, hit a yonky spelunky pit maneuver and try and do something odd to make something work.
Oh, this might be trouble. Here's Medina slow. Will this be a yellow? Looks like he's not pitting yet, he says. No yellow, we're staying green.
Oh, that car does look a little bit sour, though. I don't have exactly the best feeling about this in the world as he heads his way into turn number 1 and 2. One small little spin, and he can find himself in trouble. So let's take a look to see what happened here. Tang down a pit lane, and again, it's the pit entry really hurting you. It's so choppy down there. You can see the driver's having to dive it off the track as he actually smacked the pit attenuator there. I was wondering why that car was driving sour. It looked like a little bit of crabbing.
He can go 30 if he wants to, but is that going to be enough time to even do anything?
Ooh, that is... I think there's going to have to be like a happy medium. I would say maybe come down pit lane with about 40 to 35 in your back pocket. I think anything less than that, and you're in trouble. Anything more than that, you may as well just come down pit lane with your adversaries. That, I think, is the perfect window to have enough time to be able to make something up with the ability to also have some tires.
Here comes a question. Do Delaney and Basin make it on gas here? Because remember we set up to 90-ish? They could maybe do it at 90 if they're saving. And right now, Basin's got the boost. Here he goes, on to the rear end. Can he get alongside? Side by side they go.
Ooh, squeeze there on exit, heading onto the start-finish stretch. I thought that was nearly going to end in tears. They keep it clean and green, but he's still all over the back of him. Close to making contact once again through turn number 1 and 2. Basin not letting Delaney get away.
Definitely not. And right now, Basin knows he's got to try a different line. He's got to play this game differently. Here comes a run now to 3 to go. This time, no boost alongside as they rumble their way through 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think Delaney trying to put on a defensive masterclass, knowing exactly where he's got to position that car, but contact made as they headed their way out of turn number 2, and here comes Basin.
He's now to the fender. He slides up. Coming at 2 laps to go for the All-Star race. Basin holds on to the left rear fender. Now Delaney deeper into the corner, tries to slam the door. Basin moves up. No contact, now a squeeze off. Delaney forces the lift, coming to a lap and a half to go.
Oh, these two are putting themselves in some terrible positions right now. They're not even playing with fire. They're doing jumping jacks in front of a firing squad close to contact. They're side by side coming to take the white.
White flag is out, final time around. Lap 250 of the All-Star race. Basin inside, Delaney outside. Back straightaway they go. Basin rubs. They slam. Basin slides. He hits the wall. He knocks down the barrier. Dyson driving forward. All of this will set things up for one Jonathan Delaney to win the All-Star race.